You already know who it is, and you already know what it is. This is the Outlier B, and we right back about you cats with another video. How you cats doing today, man? How are y'all doing today? It is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning. Beautiful morning. This must be what heaven feels like, my people. 50 degrees out here today. Not a breeze, nothing, just nice weather. Make you want to take a jog. And I tell my people every single day, other than talking about the way time is going to pass you, speak about enjoying the now, my people. And it is a perfect, perfect, perfect morning. You hear the birds chirping, the sky is clear, a little cloudy out here, a little something. But you feel very, very, very connected to the moon, to the stars, to the universe, my people. A beautiful, beautiful, beautiful connection, it feels like. So what's up? How was you guys' night? How was your morning going so far? I wasn't on here to chill with you cats yesterday. That's because it's my right to use my telecommute days. And that's exactly what I did. I went into that bank and used one of those telecommute days. I don't know if them work from home, but when I do, I need it. Definitely need it. So I'm waking up feeling very, very, very rested, very energized. And we're going to see what the work week has for us. And we got a great, great, great episode lined up for you cats today. We're going to speak about the fragrance of the week. We also going to speak a little bit about work. The complaint stuff that I told you cats I was working on is finally coming back around. Like what? After 3 months, I spoke about this early in January, late December. I spoke about this, and we've been working on it, and now it's coming back around. And last, but definitely not least, we're going to be speaking about a cold case that happened out here in Nassau County in Limbrook. It was a case that happened back in like 1984, my people. And late last year, around October, November, December time, the person who they believe committed that crime was apprehended. And it's a very interesting story of how it ties back to myself. And we got somebody on the check-in. They came in. Hard Jap said, hi, what's going on, my brother? How you feeling? We got 12 people on that check-in. Hit that like button when you come on here. If this is something that you guys are into, hit that subscribe button. If this is a page that you'll like to follow. And what type of page is this? I'm just a regular dude walking to work every single day, talking about some of the topics in which come across me. You know, if something I speak about catches you the right way, the wrong way, or indifferent, let me know. Also, let me know where you checking in from, where you listening to or watching me from. Let me know what time is it over there, what you have planned for the week. Again, looking toward the future, where we going with this page. Keep coming back. We doing more content. Keep coming back, my people, if you're interested in New York City and its surrounding areas. If you're visiting New York, I'm going to tell you some of the things you could do for the weekend. If you are from the tri-state area and you want to take your significant other out on a date, we'll give you suggestions on that. I'll have crime statistics for you broken down by borough, broken down by precinct, and I'll also give you guys local New York news. So keep checking in, my people. Keep checking in. Yes, sir. So what's up? How y'all feeling this morning? Y'all heard that? What is that? A raccoon over there? Something. So what up? What up? Y'all with me this morning, man? How y'all feeling today? What is going on? What's on y'all agenda? Nothing much for me. You know, I'm rocking Fan Your Flames. That is the fragrance of the week. I really, really, really like this one. This is one of those fragrances that Of course, it's not too difficult. Uh, it is a kind of a niche fragrance, but at the same time, it's not too difficult to get your nose around. This is one of them that I believe have huge mass appeal. Uh, it's something that has like a boozy fragrance to it. A boozy fragrance meaning that it's kind of intoxicating, if you understand what I mean when it comes to fragrances. Eh, It smells pretty luxurious, man. When you wear this, it's pretty bold. It is the scent of a man who is very confident in himself. A man who doesn't mind standing out. Something like an outlier, man. Something like an outlier. Something most definitely like a outlier. And only wore it once this week for Monday. So we'll get more reactions to it. I'll let you guys know how the people on the train respond to it, how the people I work with respond to it. And again, when it comes to these powerful fragrances like these, do not get insecure, my people. Do not get insecure. What I mean is, sometimes we can spray something a couple of times and then we become blind to that scent. We become nose blind to the scent, but people around you can most definitely smell it. So again, be reminded as this weather uh, t- increases, do not ever think that just because you can't smell it, nobody else can. All right, just remember that. Somebody said smells like Teen Spirit. My Big Mont on the check-in. Somebody said poo poo. What's up? So, Big Mont, I think you're gonna be interested in the story that I talk about later on because this actually relates to where both of us used to work. So keep checking, man. It's an interesting story. So the fragrance of the week is Fan Your Flames again. We're gonna wait and get more reactions to it, and I'll tell you cats how it went later on. Yes, sir. So we're moving on. And guess what, my people? Guess what? Yeah, I remember earlier in the year, I think around the end of last year, early beginning of this year, I told you cats that one of the goals, the company goal, was to decrease all customer complaints by at least 10%. And I can remember it like it was yesterday when I was walking back and forth to work, telling you guys some of my ways that I was going to do this. And I have been doing it for the last couple of months, my people, for the last couple of months. And guess what? The complaints for April so far are the lowest that they've been since January. Since January. I do eventually want to get it back to the way it was in 2025, but I peep something, man. I peep something. When it comes to transportation, everything goes up when the on-time performance lacks or suffers. You know, so when I look at the on-time performance, and these are statistics that you guys can get online. It's not like I'm sharing company secrets with you cats. Everything we do is public and it's put on the public dashboard. But I'm not gonna tell y'all which company I work for. You dig? But when you look at those pages, a lot of times these are some of the numbers that I work on. So basically what I'm noticing through what a 13-month span is that whenever the on-time performance drops, that's when I start seeing an increase in the no-shows. I start seeing an increase in the fail trips. I start seeing an increase in the trips that they give back. I also start seeing an increase in certain types of complaints. And these complaints are no-shows, complaints where they're saying that the drivers aren't showing up. I'm also see an increase in the complaints where they're saying that they were at their location, but yet the driver marked them for a no-show. And I also see an increase in complaints about late pickups. So what I'm saying is that all of these things tie in to each other. And I say you handle the uh being the on-time performance, then you're gonna actually see all these other numbers start to go down. So that's where I was at with it, and putting all the information together and looking at things like that. I saw these trends and I started sending them reminders like, hey, look, I'm starting to see that you guys don't have as many drivers as you normally have. Your OTP drops during this time. Uh, I'm looking at the complaints and seeing what the clients are actually saying and starting to deal with them on that individual level. And what you see is that things start falling into piles and start falling into categories. And once you put those categories together, you can see which ones has the highest, which one has the lowest, and how to deal with those complaints in general. And just using that method, what I'm starting to see is that these complaints are actually dropping. And it's cool because I've worked on these numbers months prior to everybody else getting in on it. So now, let's push it into yesterday. Yesterday, I was just minding my business, and my manager hit me up. He was actually having a meeting, right? And it's a meeting for the upper management, all the officers and people like that, officers and stuff like that, uh, for the company. You dig? And I presented the data, presented what I saw, presented all that information, and it actually went very, very well, my people. Went very, very well. So I'm proud of the work that I've done, and just proud that I'm getting the uh, stage to present this information and show that wow, B know exactly what he's doing, man. And it kind of feel good, my people. Kind of feel good. And we'll see exactly where it land. We'll see exactly where it land. I'm hoping that it leads me into, higher positions, but we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. We should definitely see. Now, moving forward, keeping things kind of work related. This is something that I just saw in the newspaper a couple of days ago, and it's a very, very, very interesting case, and it's a local case, you know. And moving into this case, I got to be respectful of the people involved. So we'll say alleged, and um, we'll keep the family of the victim in mind. Because in all honesty, we got to always uh, look at the victims, man. You never want to highlight the people who committed the crimes. You never want to highlight the people who committed the crimes. You want to keep it on a respectable level of the people who actually were victims. So we'll talk about the victim of the crime. Her name was Teresa Foucault, I believe. Teresa Foucault, if my memory serves me correctly. This was something that happened in 1984. She was a little teenage girl. I believe she was about 16 at the time, and she was working at a local place over here in Nassau County, a little roller skating rink that a lot of people in the New York area or the Long Island area, if you grew up in Long Island, you know about it. It's hot skates. It was a place back in the day where you could go, you could ride roller skates, roller blades, and do all of that type of stuff. Uh, I don't know if it's still around now. I know I still see the building. I don't know if it's still operating, but I know it operated throughout the 80s and also the 90s. And I think I even had a birthday party there at one time at Hot Skates because I think they were having like they used to have a basketball court in there, like a little mini basketball court where you could lower the rim and dunk and do all that type of stuff. So this was a girl who worked over there back in 1984, and she got off of work. I believe they said it was like a little bit before 9, and she disappeared. She disappeared. They found her body in like the wooded forested area over there in Limbrook. I believe it's close to like Hempstead State Lake Park. When I lived in Rockville Center, we used to have a preserve, a little area behind my building where I used to go. I used to walk and just think and let the air hit me and have like natural thoughts. So that extended area, which extends to like Limbrook, Rockville Center, West Hempstead, those type of areas, it's like a little forested area where you'll see over there. And I believe that that's where they found her body at. And during the time, there was 3 men who got arrested for that crime. But you got to realize that this is before we had a whole bunch of the advances that we now have in DNA sciences. So they couldn't look at crimes the same way that they'll look at crimes now. And the interesting thing is, like I said, 3 people went in and they went to jail for a crime that they did not commit. And the crime was they violated her body with the 4-letter RAPE word. Also, what happened? They also, not only that, but they also, what they also did to her was take her life. And again, there was 3 people who went to prison for this, and they spent from like damn in the 80s to like the early 2000s in prison for a crime that they did not do. Now, the person who really do it was just chilling. He was just chilling, living his life. Nothing was happening to him. And later, once they started saying that they did have the DNA evidence found inside of the victim, what happened is that they got leads. And the leads pointed them to a whole nother person who they felt may have done the crime. And they was following this cat around, the person who really did the crime. And he was out there in Suffolk County, which is another suburb of New York City. It's a little east of where we are right now. And we are in Freeport, Nassau County. And he was out drinking a smoothie. And he put the smoothie down in the straw, and the police picked up the straw, and they connected his DNA to the DNA that was found on the body back in 1984, my people, back in 1984. And they connected this man to what he did to that girl, allegedly, back in 1984, a little 16-year-old girl. Now, the interesting part about all of this story and how I draw it home is that, yo, I know the person who did it, yo. Ain't that crazy? Now, I didn't know him as a friend. He wasn't a friend of mine, but he was a coffee guy. He was the coffee guy at my old job. He used to come in the morning with the coffee truck. He had bagels, all types of cupcakes and things like that, sweets, donuts, and a lot of people used to get coffee from him. And he used to come and park his cart out right in front of the building that I used to work in, and everybody used to go to him. So this was back in like 1999, 2000, early 2000s, and this was the same cat who had got away with, with murdering and raping somebody all the way back in 1984. And I just sit back and I think about that, like, damn, son, we were sitting over there talking to a criminal, like a hardened criminal, somebody that can do this to a little kid. Uh, and it got me to thinking, like, yo, how many killers and how many people have I come across who've done things like this to people and they got that on their conscience? I'm sure he had to have had that on his conscience, yo. We got somebody on the check-in and said, the dusty dude with the coffee truck. Yup, Mont, that is him. You remember him, yo? That is him, Big Mont. Yes, sir. The dusty dude with the coffee truck. Yup. That cat killed somebody and raped them back in 1984. And they really just found him, man. I believe his name was Joseph or something like that. Joe, something like that, man. No, Rich or Richie or something like that. Something crazy, man. But yeah, I can only imagine it, yo. Just imagine getting away with something like that and just thinking like, damn, yo, uh, it's only a matter of time before they catch me. Only a matter of time before they catch me. And they really, really, really caught him, man. Craziness, you know? It makes you really think about who you walk around every day, who you sharing the train with, who you walk by on a regular basis, and some of the things that they did. It's a wild, wild, wild thought, man. A wild, wild, wild thought, yo. But yeah, it's crazy, man. We come in contact with different types of people every single day, man. Every single day. And all I can say is be careful out there sometimes, man. Just be careful, keep your eyes alert. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy world, man. Crazy, crazy, crazy world. But I'm close to the 7-Eleven. I'm about to go in there, make me my tea, go chill, get ready for this train that's going to be here in 10 minutes. We got a little bit of time to talk to the people on the chat. What's up? How y'all feeling? We got 6 people on the check-in. What are y'all doing today? What is new? How are you feeling? What's up? Do 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 do. Boom 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 boom. I also remind you guys while we got this little bit of time to keep checking on the page, man. Keep checking on the page. We got some interesting things dropping, y'all. So, y'all know I like the numbers. I'm a statistician, so that means I'm gonna be giving you guys stats, man. I'm gonna give you guys some stats about the precinct, about everything, man. You know, every morning I come out here, people tell me to worry about the YNs. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of stats about New York. In New York City, do you guys know that from March from January to March of this year, this is the lowest amount of homicides that we've had since like 2005, my people. This is historic lows. And we're reaching historic lows in crime in general. There are things that are high, like grand larceny, things like that, pickpocketing, car thefts on the rise, stuff like that. But the major crimes like felony assaults and homicide, shooting victims, those type of things are down, definitely down. But there are certain areas where crime is going up. So, for example, it's like you'll look at an area like East New York, for example, the 75th precinct. That precinct has historically had issues, but at the same time, their homicides and felony assaults are down, but at the same time, their shooting victims are going up. You'll look at areas, certain areas in Queens, like the Coronas and those type of areas. You'll see certain crimes on the rise, but then other crimes going down. So this basically reflects approach that the NYPD uses. Because in a huge city where it's like 9 million people unofficially, you can't stop everything. So you got to pick and choose what you want to deal with. And it seems like they're dealing with violent crime because violent crime is definitely on a decline in our city, you know? But that's all I got. We about to go in here and make my tea. I catch you cats on the rebound. Love y'all. See y'all tomorrow, man.